Salam students, welcome to another lecture of English grammar. Today we are going to continue with part 5 of our grammar topic, active voice and passive voice. If you remember, in the earlier lectures we learnt the definition of active voice and passive voice. We also learnt various rules for change of voice from active to passive. Okay. In the previous lecture, that is in part 4, I explained you model 5, and I also told you that we are going to learn the application of this model 5 in the activity that we are going to do today. Okay. So I hope you all remember model 5. Let me revise it for you once again. Model 5 tells us the interrogative pronoun, interrogative adverbs, interrogative adjectives, whether they come alone or in groups, the defective verbs and the finite forms of the verb to be and to have. All these things which introduce the question form in a sentence retain their places even when the sentences are changed into the passive form. So if you remember interrogative pronoun, I explained it to you. It is a pronoun which is used to make asking questions easy. Okay. And the examples of interrogative pronouns: what, which, who, whom, and whose. Right. Then also I explained you interrogative adverbs. It is an adverb that asks a question about place, time, manner, or reason. What were the examples? Yes. Examples were why, where, and how. Where, when, how. All these are examples of interrogative adverbs. Interrogative adjectives? Yes, they describe a noun that is used in a question. And examples of interrogative adjectives? What are they? Examples: what, which, whose, etc. Alright. And the defective verbs which we have learnt earlier, long back. Okay, defective verbs, you remember, it does not exhibit all the qualities, all the typical forms of an ordinary verb. Okay, so defective verbs example, they are English models. Okay, models like can, could, may, might, etc. And the finite forms of the verb to be and to have. So when any of this is introduced in the question form, then they retain their place. They don't change their place when we change the sentence from active voice to passive voice. Okay. So now on this basis, let me tell you one more thing. Okay. The interrogative pronoun. Okay. Not on this basis, but then this is one thing that you need to keep in mind. The interrogative pronoun who has different forms. It has different forms in nominative and accusative. Remember nominative? It is used for a noun or a pronoun which is the subject of a verb. Okay, and you remember accusative form, which is used to show the direct object of a verb. Right? So, who is used in different forms in nominative case and in accusative case. So, nominative form, it is used as who, but when you write it in accusative form, you write it as whom. So, therefore, in the process of transformation, who becomes by whom. Okay, when you change a sentence from active voice, which has who, when it is changed into passive voice, then we don't write who. In passive voice, we write by whom. Right, and they retain their place. They don't change their position. And when we are writing whom, and when it's given whom, then when we change it into, when it is changed into when there is a change of voice, then whom becomes who. All right. So let's see few examples here. Change the following sentence into passive voice. So change the following sentence into passive voice. The first one, who can do this? Okay, so if we see here the normal structure of interrogative sentence in active voice, starting with what is this who? It is interrogative pronoun. Okay, so this is an interrogative sentence that begins with an interrogative pronoun. So what will be its passive form? In passive form, if you can see the answer, who becomes by whom. Alright, and also that by whom has retained its position. It has not changed its place. It's right in the beginning of the sentence. So what will be our answer? By whom can this be done? Whom did you see? Once again, here it's given whom, which is an interrogative pronoun. So what will it become in the answer in the passive form? Whom did you see? Who was seen by you? What is he doing? The next one, again it's an interrogative pronoun. So what will be the answer? What is being done by him? Here the position does not change. By what means did he do the thing? So what will be the answer? By what means was the thing done by him? And don't forget to put the question mark at the end. Okay, it is very important to use the correct punctuation. In this case, question mark. Which flowers give the sweetest smell? Now here in this case, the interrogative sentence begins with which. Now what is this which? It is an interrogative adjective. So in the answer, we write by which flower is the sweetest smell given. Okay, and we have retained the position. Can he do the work? Now what is this can? It is a defective verb. Okay, so can is a defective verb, and in the answer we write it in the passive voice. Can the work be done by him? So it retains the position. Did you notice that? Okay. Now moving ahead to the next one. Have they repaid the loan? Now what will be the passive voice for this? Has the loan been repaid by them? Okay, so the verbs has or have over here, they has or have, they don't change their position. They retain their position right at the beginning of the sentence. Will he keep the appointment? What will be the answer? Will the appointment be kept by him? Alright, now let's move ahead. Based on this, we have this activity which is given in your textbook, in your grammar book. Okay, I hope you all have your grammar book with you, and we'll do it together. Let's solve this activity. Change the following sentences into passive voice. Who will pay your fine? Now, what will be the answer for this? Who will pay your fine? What will be the answer? By whom will your fine be paid? Whom were you calling out? Who was being called out by you? Okay, so in these examples, if you notice, it's the same rule that we learned in model number 5. Interrogative pronouns in the beginning. Okay, and while changing, we need to remember what we have to replace. Which picture was he seeing? Which picture was being seen by him? Has John not cleaned the blackboard? So what will be the answer? Has the blackboard not been cleaned by John? What have you done? What will be the answer? What has been done by you? Who has won the gold medal? So what will be the answer here? By whom has been the gold medal won? What good has he done to you? What good has been done to you by him? Who has drawn this lovely picture? By whom has been this lovely picture drawn? Have they purchased a new TV set? Was a new TV set being purchased by them? What are you doing to help him? What is being done by you to help him? Okay, so I hope students you've been able to answer these questions, and these are the answers. You need to jot it in your grammar book, and if you don't have your grammar book, you can write it in a notebook, English grammar book, which you might have maintained in place of the grammar textbook. Now, moving ahead to model number 6. Let's understand what this model tells us. Change the following sentences into passive voice. Again, it begins with few examples. The child wanted to see the flying of the kites. We went to see the launching of the ship. There was a large crowd to see the hoisting of the flag. Did you notice these underlined verbs? Underlined words? Okay, all the 3 words that are underlined in each of these sentences. Flying, launching, hoisting. Did you see they end with ing? Right, so in the above sentences, the underlined verbs are gerunds. Now, what are these gerunds? Let me tell you that. So gerunds are, they're nothing but, you can say it's ing form of a verb that functions the same as a noun. Okay, so gerunds, they are created out of verbs, but then they function like a noun. Alright, like you can say flying, launching, hoisting. So all these are gerunds. Now, in these sentences, now these gerunds are given over here, but when these sentences are changed from active voice to passive voice, the present participles, okay, the present part, these flying, launching, hoisting, they are present participles. They have to be changed. When these sentences change into passive voice, these present participles will be changed into past participle. That is, this flying will become flown, launching will become launched, and hoisting will become, what will it become? Hoisted. Yes, you're right. Okay, so we have to change each of the gerunds into past participle, and then we have to follow the other rule. Place an appropriate auxiliary verb before it. Okay, and I hope you remember the rule. We have already learned placing appropriate auxiliary. Okay, so we just have to apply that. Let's see the example here. The first example, the child wanted to see the flying of the kites. Okay, now flying will be changed into flown. An appropriate auxiliary verb will be being. The changed sentence, how will it read? It will be, the child wanted to see the kites being flown. Similarly, the other sentence. Let's see the next question. We went to see the launching of the ship. So the answer will be, we went to see the ship being launched. The third one, There was a large crowd to see the hoisting of the flag. So what will be the answer? There was a large crowd to see the flags being hoisted. Okay, so I hope students, gerund, that is the ing form of a verb, is clear with you. And I hope you also understood its function. Okay, when we change a gerund, okay, which is in present participle, in the active voice. When we change that sentence into passive voice, that present participle will be changed to past participle. Okay, like the case launching becomes launched. All right, so I hope students this particular part is clear with you. Now let's read the following sentences. Russia wants to send a man to the moon. Alexander wanted to make conquest in the east. It is foolish to expect the heavens to rain manna. In these sentences, the underlined verbs are infinitive. Okay, now what is this infinitive? We all know infinitive. Infinitive form of a verb is the verb in its basic form. So the infinitive form of the verb is usually preceded by to. Okay, the preposition to. For example, to run, to play, to send, to make. Right? So now here, let us understand this. So in these sentences, the underlined verbs are infinitive. These will have to be changed into passive voice. So when we are changing a sentence that is in active voice and which has a infinitive, that is the infinitive, that is a verb in its basic form, okay, with the preposition to, what we have to do in that case, change each of the infinitive into past participle and place before it the appropriate auxiliary verb to be. So what we have to do, let's see. In the first sentence, the infinitive given is to send. So what we are doing, we have to change this into past participle and we have to place, what we have to place? We have to place before the appropriate auxiliary verb to be. Okay, to send will become to be sent. To make will become to be made. To rain will become to be rained. Okay, so the change sentences for the questions given. Russia wants to send a man to the moon. Russia wants a man to be sent to the moon. Alexander wanted to make conquest in the east. Alexander wanted conquest to be made in the east. It is foolish to expect the heavens to rain manna. It is foolish to expect manna to be rained by the heavens. Okay, so I hope students, the infinitive part is also. So that's all for today. Kindly click on the link, okay, the link for home assignment and complete the same. Thank you so much for your time. Take care.